Hi there, everybody. It has been such a long and wet and dreary, dark day at my house. It's been raining and it's been windy and it's really not all that nice out. And you know what I thought? I thought maybe to make this day great and to end it up on something super fun and awesome, we should sing some songs together and read some stories together. And maybe they could be bedtime stories. What do you guys think of that idea? I kind of like it. Now, before I go to bed, the very first thing that I do before I crawl into my bed is I use this thing. Anybody remember what that guy's called? It's a toothbrush. This is my toothbrush. This is my purple toothbrush. What color is your toothbrush at your house? Yellow, pink, green, blue? Toy Story? Holy cow. Everybody has different toothbrushes. I love that. I actually have two different toothbrushes. At my house, in one of my bathrooms, I have my purple toothbrush. And in my other bathroom, I have my green toothbrush. And my green toothbrush is my very favoriteest one. But my purple toothbrush looks a little bit nicer, so I thought maybe I'd show you this one today. Also, it's got sparkles. Can you see that? Sparkly toothbrush. Now, when I brush my teeth, I always sing the toothbrush song. Do you want to sing it with me? Let's sing it first, and then we'll pretend to use our toothbrushes the second time. You ready? Okay. Are your teeth clean and white? Do you brush them day and night? Do you brush them up and down? Do you brush them left and right? Do you swish, 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 making faces like a fish? Do you swish, swish, swish to rinse every little bit? Are you brushing every day, every morning, every night? Brush, brush, brush to keep your teeth clean and white. Very good. Now, do you want to do the actions with the song? If you have your toothbrush nearby, you can get it. I'll give you a sec. But if you don't have your toothbrush, you can just use your finger. That's what I like to do when we're singing it together, don't I? I just pretend my finger is a toothbrush. There we go. I'm going to use my toothbrush this time just because I have it. You guys can see how that works. Okay, you ready? Are your teeth clean and white? Do you brush them day and night? Do you brush them up and down? Do you brush them left and right? Do you rinse, 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 making faces like a fish? Ready? Do you swish, swish, swish to rinse every little bit? Are you brushing every day, every morning, every night? Brush, brush, brush to keep your teeth clean and white. Now show me those clean white teeth. Amazing! You guys are so good at this. All right, now after I brush my teeth, I always get ready for story time. And I don't know about you guys, but at my house, we still do story time all the time. We love to read books before bed. And today, I chose 3 stories about nighttime that I think you guys might like. All right, so the very first one is one of my favorites. And you guys get to read this one with me an awful lot because it's one of my favorites. So it's called Owl Babies, and it's written by Martin Waddell, and it's illustrated by Patrick Benson. And look, there's the owls right there. 1, 2, 3. Those owl babies are so cute. Ooh, look at that. It's even darker than it is at my house right now. At my house, it's almost getting close to nighttime. But in this book, it's already nighttime. So let's take a look at it together. Let's see. Maybe I can hold it like this so you can see. There we go. Once there were 3 baby owls, Sarah, Percy, and Bill. They lived in a hole in a trunk of a tree with their owl mother. The hole had twigs and leaves and owl feathers in it. It was their house. My house doesn't have twigs and leaves and owl feathers in it, but it does have a whole bunch of other things that make it comfy, like blankets and pillows and couches. Yeah, just like the owls, things that make me comfy. One night they woke up and their owl mother was gone. Oh no. Where's Mommy? Asked Sarah. Oh my goodness, said Percy. I want my mommy, said Bill. Look at that. Oh my goodness. The owl babies are starting to look a little worried. They can't see their mommy and it's making them nervous. The owl babies thought, all owls think a lot. I think she's gone hunting, said Sarah. to get us our food, said Percy. I still want my mommy, said Bill. Oh dear, poor Bill. There we go. Look at those baby owls. They're looking at each other. They're thinking out loud. And they're talking to each other. They're trying to make themselves feel a little better. And maybe see if maybe they have an idea that makes them feel less nervous inside. But their owl mother didn't come. The baby owls came out of their house and they sat on their tree and they waited. Look at that. They all came out of the little hole in their house. A big branch for Sarah. That's this one right here. And a small branch for Percy. And an old piece of ivy for Bill. Bill must be the baby. She'll be back, said Sarah. Back soon, said Percy. I want my mommy, said Bill. Oh boy. Bill is not happy about Mommy not being home. Sarah and Percy are feeling a little calmer, but Bill is not happy at all. It was dark in the woods and they had to be brave, for things moved all around them. She'll bring us mice and things that are nice, said Sarah. I suppose so, said Percy. I want my mommy, said Bill. And they sat and they thought, because all owls think a lot. I think we should all sit on my branch, said Sarah. And they did, all three, together. Look at that. Bill got off of his piece of ivy, and Percy got off of his little branch, and they all sat together on the big branch with Sarah. Suppose she got lost, said Sarah. Or a fox found her, said Percy. I want my mommy, said Bill. And the baby owls closed their baby owl eyes and wished that their owl mother would come. Oh no, they're so worried. I think their fears got the best of them. They let them take over their imaginations. But guess what happened next? Their owl mother came. Soft and silent, she swooped through the trees to Sarah, Percy, and Bill. With a beautiful owl mother and her long wings. Mommy, they cried, and they flapped up and down, and they danced and they bounced on their branch. They're so excited to see her. What's all this fuss? You knew I'd come back, said their owl mother. The baby owls thought, because all owls think a lot. Huh, I knew it, said Sarah. And I knew it, said Percy. I love my mommy, said Bill. Oh, what a wonderful story. I love how those owls remember that their mommy always comes back for them. And that story takes place at nighttime because the owls are awake at night. Not like us. At our houses, we sleep at night and we're awake during the day. But the owls do things a little bit differently, don't they? All right, I have another story. Now, it's not matching the weather because outside at my house, it's very, very hot and very, very heavy. And if there was a snowman on my lawn right now, it would turn to a puddle pretty fast. But this is a story about nighttime, and it's one of my very favorite nighttime stories. So I thought maybe we could read it together and pretend it's not quite as hot outside as it is right now. Are you all set? It's called Snowmen at Night, and it's written by Carolyn and Mark Booner. They have a very cool name, and I'm not sure I'm saying it right. But it is a very nifty name, and it is a really nifty book. One of my very favorite books. I love the Snowman books. And the Snowman at Night book is my very favorite of them all. There we go. One wintry day I made a snowman, very round and tall. And the next day when I saw him, he was not the same at all. Look at that. Do you remember making snowmen outside in the wintertime this year? Carrots for noses. Looks like some buttons for mouth and eyes, a hat, a scarf. Wow. Well, his hat had slipped, his arms drooped down. He really looked a fright. It made me start to wonder, what do snowmen do at night? the snowmen just stay on my lawn, or do they do other things? I think that little boy might be using his imagination, and I can't wait to learn more about what it's thinking. I think that snowmen start to slide when it gets really dark, off the lawn and down the street and right into the park. Look at that. They're sliding and moving and walking in the snow. I didn't know snowmen could walk. They gather in a circle while they wait for all the others, sipping cups of ice-cold cocoa made by snowman mothers. Oh, I love cocoa. I love cocoa when other people make it for me even more. Then the snowman games begin. They line up in their places. Each one is anxious for his turn in the snowman races. Would you look at that? Those snowmen. They're ready to do all kinds of exciting things. It looks like some of them are rolling, some of them are running. That's amazing. Well, after everyone has had a chance at racing once or twice, they head on over to the pond to do skating tricks on ice. Huh. I love this page. It's one of my favorites in the whole book. You know what I like so much about it? I like that the snowmen are all snowmen, but they all look different on the outside. On the inside, they're all the same. They're all made of snow. They all have feelings. They all have energy and ideas. They all have hearts. They all love each other. But look at that. Some of them have carrot noses. Some of them have button noses. Some of them have pickle noses. What? Look at that. He has a pickle nose. Some of them wear hats and some of them don't. Huh. They're very, very cool. Well, sometimes they start giggling and then they act like clowns. They bump into each other till they all fall down. Look at this one. He's making snow angels. Did anybody make snow angels this winter? I know a few friends who made some snow angels with me. I remember. Well, they gather up their snowballs. The pitcher takes his aim, and underneath the moonlit sky, they play a baseball game. And look at that. Instead of a bat, they're using a broom. Ooh, very creative. I like this idea. No one knows just how it started, but soon it's quite a sight, with snowmen throwing snowballs in the world's best snowball fight. What? No way! Oh my goodness. Let's see. Here we go. Then it's time for sledding. It's a wild ride down the hill. This is by far, woohoo, they yell, this is by far the snowman's biggest thrill. They have a great time. Look at this one. He's riding on a tire down the snowy hill. And these guys are all lined up on a great big toboggan. Woo, crazy. Finally, they're tuckered out and getting sleepy, so they slowly gather up their things and one by one they go. They're collecting all their stuff, trying not to lose their mittens, not to lose their noses, not to forget all their buttons and eyes and mouths. So if your snowman's grin is crooked, or if he's lost a little height, you'll know he's just been doing what snowmen do at night. Look at that. He doesn't look anything like he did when the boy built him. But it's just because he was busy doing what snowmen do at night. And this is some of the crazy stuff they do. They play on swings at the park. Oh my, I love how much fun they're all having together. That's so great. What a silly bunch of snowmen those guys are. All right, let's take a look. I have one more story that we can read together. It's called Good Night World, and it's written and illustrated by Andrea Lynn Beck. Look at that. Isn't it pretty? There's a picture of the earth, and there's a picture of all kinds of different places where people might live. And there's a little boy on the cover snuggled up in his bed with his blankets and his stuffies and his book and his puppy dog. Aw, let's read about it and see what's what. There we go. It's bedtime here in my home on the sea. We're snug in our bunks, my brother and me. Look at that. Their home is in a boat. They live in a boat on the water. That's amazing. I don't live in a boat. I live in a house on the ground on my lawn. But they live in a boat. That means they can go anywhere in the whole wide world. And their home is always with them. That's pretty amazing. I'm thinking of you wherever you are. If we look up, will we see the same star? Now that's a very brilliant question. It doesn't really matter where we live in the whole wide world or in our whole wide city. If we look up at the sky, when the stars are shining, we can all see the same stars. That's pretty special. Kind of makes us all feel connected, even if we can't see each other. Is it night where you live? Are you going to bed too? Are you under the covers in Timbuktu? Where do you sleep? On a cot? On a mat? In Africa? Asia? The Aussie outback? Wow, look at that. This little boy, or maybe it's a girl, it's hard for me to tell sometimes. They're looking at a special tablet, at a map on a tablet, and they've got books and maps all around them so that they can learn more about the world. Ooh, what's that? Does anyone remember what this is called? It's called a globe, and it's like a map of the world in the shape of the world, because the world is a great big, do you remember? What is this? It's a great big circle, and the globe is a great big circle, and it shows pictures of all of the places on Earth. It's amazing. There we go. There's his tablet with all of those very cool pictures. Are you in the Antarctic or Europe, perhaps? North America? South America? Let's look at our maps. Do you guys know where we live? We live in North America, which is very, very, very high up on the globe. We're up, up, up. That means north. So that's where Canada is, and that's where we live. I wonder about the place you call home. Is it inside a cave, or is it shaped like a dome? Everybody's house is different. Some people live in tall apartment buildings. Some people live in small bungalows. Other people live in great big houses, little bitty houses. Everybody's home is different. Is your house made of bricks? This little guy's house is made of bricks. He's got a great big window and he's got some bricks on the outside of the buildings around him. Does your roof have a goat? Look at that. This house has a roof made out of grass, and the goats climb up and they keep the grass cut on the roof. They crunch and munch it because goats like to eat anything, and they especially like to eat grass. There you go. Maybe you live in a house that can float, just like this little person. This little person's house floats too, isn't it? Because it's a boat. And this one is pretty special. Those are a bunch of houses that float. They look like they're built right along the edge of the water. Do you sleep in a yurt? A yurt is an interesting building that's a lot like a tent, but it's made out of very special canvases and fabrics that make it very waterproof. And it's much bigger than a little tent that you and I would take if we went camping. It's enough to have lots of rooms in it, and also even a kitchen. Look, this yurt even has a sofa and some tables. And this is where they do their cooking. They have a special stovetop that cooks their food. Maybe you live in a tree house that's high. Wow. That would be amazing to live in a tree house. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh. I think I'd love that so much. Perhaps you sleep way up in the sky. Maybe you live in a tall apartment building or a skyscraper that goes very, 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 very high up into the sky. We have some of those here in Ottawa. All right. Is your roof made of straw? Look at that. These homes have straw roofs and they've got special walls. Are your walls made of mud? These walls are all made of mud. It's clay mud that they built into bricks. Is your home up on stilts in case of a flood? My cottage should be up on stilts in case of a flood. It's very high off the ground and it still almost gets flooded every year. These guys are smart. You have to climb a ladder to get up. That would be very difficult if you have a lot of groceries. But at least the water doesn't get in their house. All their things stay dry. Well, wherever you sleep, wherever you are, I think of you when I look at our star. Our world is so big and sometimes so small. It's our home. Good night to us all. Good night to me. Good night to you. Good night to us. And our world too. Oh, look at that beautiful drawing. The end. At the back of this book, there's some really interesting facts about some of the houses that we saw. But what I really, really like is the message that no matter where we are in the whole wide world, we always can feel connected if we look up at the sky. You see the stars, and I see the stars, and we all see the same stars. And that's what makes it so special. So, my darlings, I wish you good night. And I will keep these beautiful circly, songy thingies together up on the website so that you can keep watching them all summer long. And maybe I'll even sneak another one up there here and then. But in the meantime, I wish you all a wonderful summer. And I can't wait to see some of you again in September. And I really, 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 really hope that next time you see the stars, you look up there and you remember that Miss Janice is thinking about you. Good night. See you all soon.